The Creaking Floorboards. Chapter 1. The New Beginning. I remember the first time I stepped foot into this house as if it was yesterday. A sense of silence that enveloped me like a thick blanket heavy with secrets and promises. The old Victorian cottage stood tall amidst a sea of towering trees, its once grandeur worn down by years, yet still exuding an aura of elegance. It was my fresh start, a chance to escape the city's chaos for solitude in the rolling countryside. As I stepped inside, I couldn't help but feel drawn to it. Each creaking floorboard beneath my feet echoed through the empty rooms like whispers from past inhabitants. The air carried the faint scent of lavender and rosemary, lingering from days long gone, mixed in with an undercurrent of neglect. I'd never felt so at peace as the door shut behind me, sealing off the world outside. My name was Emily, a young woman who had been battered by life's winds but yearned for solace. The house needed work, but that suited me fine. My hands were eager to paint walls with warm colors and weave tales into faded tapestries. Every morning dawned with a chorus of sparrows and hoots from distant owls, their symphony serenading the quiet hours as I worked tirelessly, transforming it into a haven. Each day, each night, every moment brought more life to its walls, until one fateful evening when shadows began to stir in corners that didn't seem quite right. They moved of their own accord, darting beyond my gaze, before melting back into the twilight. The wind chimes on the porch danced with an unnatural vigor, and I'd swear I heard laughter in the distance, ethereal yet familiar. Those were simply manifestations of loneliness playing tricks, or so I told myself. Yet, every night, as darkness encroached, the house creaked. A symphony that only intensified during storms, like footsteps along unlit corridors. The second week passed, and an unusual restlessness took hold of me. Shadows lengthened, reaching out to claw at my heels when I walked through rooms. On the third day, a chill set in. Icy fingers tracing my spine despite a blazing fireplace and warm tea clutched between trembling hands. My imagination, perhaps. No, it was more than that. A floorboard above me snapped loudly one evening as I sat reading in the living room, making me leap out of my skin. Footsteps. Upstairs. When did I move into this place? It seemed an odd neighbor had taken up residence without introducing themselves. The wind picked up, howling like a siren outside, and with it came the creaking, more pronounced now. A steady march from one end to the other. Every step echoed louder than my own heartbeat. The walls thumped, vibrating as if invisible feet strode through the space above me. I should have been frightened, but instead found solace in those uninvited footsteps. They were almost comforting in their rhythmic pattern. My mind conjured tales of a ghostly inhabitant, a former occupant who'd found peace here long ago, reliving memories while I settled into my life below. The floorboards above continued their cadence, night after night, an insistent companion during the lonely hours before sleep. One evening, curiosity propelled me to investigate. I crept upstairs with candlelight casting eerie shadows in the walls, the wind whipping branches outside like a witch's cauldron stirring. Each step echoed louder than I'd ever recall, even in dreams. The bedroom door stood slightly ajar, a gust of cool air swept past my face as if drawn by something unseen. My heart pounded, yet fascination propelled me forward. A figure cloaked and hooded stood at the window, looking out into the night's embrace. In that instant, I'd have sworn they turned to face me before vanishing into thin air, leaving a chilling whisper. Wait for me. The floorboards ceased their nocturnal trek as if listening, waiting too. They were not footsteps anymore. I felt eyes upon me, piercing through darkness. It was then the journal appeared on my nightstand. Old leather, bound and adorned with a peculiar crest of two intertwined keys, silver and gold. The journal's pages told tales of a man named Edwin who'd inhabited this house long ago. His words spilled from its pages like a confessional confession. They spoke of unrequited love, loss, and secrets buried in the earth beneath oak trees nearby. Each entry was penned by candlelight, each sentence stained with tears and longing. As I delved deeper, an unsettling feeling crept over me. Edwin had lived here long before my time, yet described life as it played out today. Moments I recognized, though never experienced. One entry mentioned a key hidden within the walls. My fingers traced the symbol on the cover, tracing lines to the back of my hand with an icy touch that sent shivers down my spine. It was then I noticed my own key ring had replaced Edwin's, the silver and gold interlaced perfectly. Chapter 2. Unseen Shadows. The journal became a constant companion under a velvet blanket by day, night, as stormy nights turned clear skies blue again. With each entry, the floorboards grew louder in their nocturnal dance, synchronized to my reading. Their cadence harmonized with Edwin's sorrow, a symphony of longing and despair. I felt an affinity for this long, dead soul. His words were solace, companionship in solitude. But curiosity gnawed at me, urging exploration beyond the pages. A hidden room behind a bookshelf revealed itself after hours spent pondering the cryptic clues within those entries. Behind the thin partition lay a study lined with books, yet it was not the leather-bound tomes that drew my attention, rather an old desk bearing two keys, silver and gold, just like the crest on that haunting tome. The room hummed with a different energy, the air pulsing as if holding its breath in anticipation of something. I inserted them into ancient keyholes within the wooden door frame, expecting nothing but rust to meet my efforts. With a click came an eerie whisper, a hidden passage revealed itself. Shadows lengthened, reaching out like skeletal fingers as I descended into Edwin's study, candlelight trembling. Every night they crept closer, more so each evening. Shadows danced on the walls, twirling in an inky dance that seemed to beckon me to secrets buried beneath those oak trees mentioned in his writing. I'd venture there soon enough, but not tonight. A journal called my name stronger than curiosity. The words spelled onto those pages were now calling out to me, to unveil mysteries beneath the earth and within these walls. One entry spoke of a door hidden behind a wooden panel, adorned with intricate carvings of a silver key and an iron rose, the very motif on Edwin's coat of arms. I knew where it lay in my dreamless slumber. Hands sought those carvings as if guided by an unseen force. Early dawn found me crouched before the panel, tracing the patterns with fingers stained with lavender paint from my previous day's work. With a click that seemed too loud for the stillness of morning, the panel slid open, revealing a door hidden behind a tapestry. The room was dimly lit by moonlight as I stepped into a clearing ringed by oak trees under the same branches that had witnessed centuries pass. The air was heavy with a scent both familiar and alien. Lavender and rosemary, like in my dreams where whispers filled my nights. Edwin's spirit watched from the shadows. I could feel him watching. In his final entry, he wrote of finding love buried beneath those ancient boughs. I dug until fingers touched something cold yet yielding to the touch. Withdrawing it, I beheld a golden key wrapped in silk embroidered with silver leaves. A heavy wooden door yawned before me, hidden within must be a world from which the silver and iron rose symbolized entry. In the room above, floorboards ceased as if they'd waited for this moment. My awakening to Edwin's legacy and secrets buried with him. As I descended into the crypt, like space, the journal slipped from my hands to lie in the cold stone beside his resting place. Chapter 3. Echoes from the Past. In a tomb carved of oak beneath the trees, an iron rose encased what seemed to be a heart wrapped in more silk leaves, petals and keys intertwined. With shaking fingers, I lifted the delicate container. It felt alive with life and ancient secrets. As the stone lid closed behind me, I found myself back within my bedroom, huddled under blankets listening as floorboards resumed their incessant rhythm upstairs. It was then I heard it. A whispered promise in my ear, the silver shall lead you home. My fingers grasped the key as the room's walls hummed with energy, urging me upward to where secrets waited. The door creaked open like breath drawn back into a chest long buried, and I climbed. Edwin stood tall in moonlit shadow, a figure I recognized from sketches etched within those pages. His form drifted closer, speaking of our fates intertwined across the span of centuries, whispers of love unearthed beneath these oaks. He guided me through a labyrinthine network of oak-lined tunnels to where iron rose petals adorned my door with his own name carved beside them. And then mine. I reached out as if from another world, hesitantly tracing his script alongside those etched in the wood. A gust rushed past us both, extinguishing candles, and Evan spoke of love found and lost, of keys that unlock worlds beyond this life's veil. As the last flicker died, a hand touched mine. His eyes locked on my own beneath moonlight. Your time has come, he said in an ethereal voice. Follow, for I have waited for far too long. I did not look back as I followed him into the night and beyond.